I have been expecting you. Hello, my name's Keith, and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man. And today, I'm going to be talking to you all about you. And yeah, I moved my belt up a little bit because it does different things on different chakras. So sometimes it's around the sacral, sometimes it's on the root, sometimes it's on the stomach, or aka the higher sacral or higher solar. I mean, it's the solar plexus. So I'm going to put belts on the website. I decided since they're so useful and they're so powerful, I'm going to put them on the website. So one thing I'd like you guys to know is that you're always being recorded. And I don't mean to freak you out. You're always being watched. Most of the time, it's your phone's recording you. Or most of the time, you're being recorded by you being in public and you're on some kind of device. Your phone, I mean, you should actually get like one of those lights that tells you how many times your phone tries to actually look at your face. So your phone's always trying to record you. Everything's like always recorded. That's just life. But this is the biggest part of this. I mean, this is the biggest, what this video is about, is you're literally, and this is going to freak some people out. But you should know, because you're going to get to the afterlife, and this will help a lot of people do better. Because a lot of people think, oh, no one's watching me. It's like, here's the biggest secret and spoiler. Every action and deed you do is being recorded. Who's the one to show them to you? Every action and everything you've ever done. And this is going to start freaking people out. I know it. I just know it. Everything you've ever done is fully recorded. Like every action, every deed. I'll get into how much in detail a little bit later on, but everything is recorded. So I'm just going to let this set in for a second. So think about it. When you're a baby, when you're born, the operating room, you growing up, your childhood, what else? Your childhood, everything up to now is just flat out recorded. Yes, I'm keeping my eyes peeled because... So everything, and the recording's on, so you're being recorded while watching this video. So I'd like this to just sink in. Let's let it sink in for a second, because every act, every deed, everything you say, everything you don't say, every action you do, every action you don't do, you just have to understand we're put here to do deeds. And everything we do, we're literally put here to do stuff. So everything is, you're doing something good, bad, neutral, or, I mean, you're working towards a purpose. I'm gonna give advice from my angels on how to teach this video, because this is a little intense. So if it makes sense to you now as to why, and the thing is, you're recorded in multiple timelines too, so this is why people's monitor spirits have information on you. But sometimes God can protect the recording, sometimes you need protection to get it recorded. I mean, because it just depends, because everything's always recorded. But it depends who has the recording. God will, and the thing is, God will give his angels the recording or information, but they won't always share or tell. That's why, for example, angels and readings, they don't want to say much, because they know everything and they see everything. Well, they know as much as God lets them. And it's just confidential. It's just like, why am I going to share all this person's information? Like, they have the ability. It's kind of like if you were here and like for example, if you have a boss who wants to see all the recordings, like, I want to see this person, like, I'm trying to see them scratch their butt, and so I could tell their friends. It's like, no, you don't. No, that's not how it works. And people who actually have a bunch of recordings, they know it's confidential, so they don't try to always check. Monitor spirits will always check, because they don't have every recording, so any recording they do get is extremely valuable. And it drives them nuts, because they have a whole bunch of, like, for example, angels have the entire, like, just anything God shows them, for example, the entire situation from start to end. But when it comes to monitor spirits, they get glimpses, so they try to put the rest together themselves. They're kind of funny. If you're not sure what a monitor spirit is, just imagine someone who is gossipy in life, going to the afterlife, and they're still gossipy. So as time goes on, you'll notice things happen between you and other people. Like, for example, you'll have a perfect relationship with someone, and then for some reason, even though everything just seems perfect, they might have said something behind your back, they might have done something behind your back, and now your angels are pushing you away from them, not just because of energy, because energy is everything. So not just because of energy, but they've seen them do something that they didn't like. So that's the biggest thing. When the angels see something, and angels are sent by God too, so essentially it's God's orders. The angels are not doing anything God doesn't want them to do. So think about it that way. So for example, think about friends you've had in the past and they just randomly disappear. It's like, or family members, or people who you go to school with, and then used to be so cool, and out of nowhere, it's just like they're gone. Most of you have learned to trust. You're like, okay, it happens for a reason. That's it. So the thing is, that person could have cracked a joke about you. That person could have talked about you when you walked out of the room, and you better really have open your eyes, because a lot of these people, you walk out of the room and there's a silence after, they're normally talking about you. Not to make you paranoid, but your angels usually shut them up, especially when you're wearing Florida Stoneman gemstones. So that's the thing. A lot of people will talk because humans are human. A lot of people are bored and they have nothing to talk about, so they'll talk about you just because if you're interesting to them, or if you're bright and you're shining and your armor is glistening, they have nothing else to talk about. It's like, oh, it might be, the thing is, it might be good. And that's the thing, because these people will think that they're 100% alone, and they'll get some alone time, and then their real selves will come out. So, for example, when you, for example, you just saw someone in person, like, oh, how awesome, and then the friend, whatever friend friend group, most people will talk about them. It's just human nature. It's like, oh, I love that person. They're a really nice person. That's one of my favorite people. Versus, I can't stand that person. That person's out. Like, that person thinks they know everything. And the thing is, that gets recorded. Everything's recorded. So it's not about if, it's about when. So 3 months you might just not know, and then you'll just see it in a dream, a download, or because some people have the ability to tap into records. So it's like, okay, I haven't seen this person for a long time. What happened? So for me, it's like a recording. So I'll just go through the recording, and it's something sometimes your angels don't even show you. It's just in the recording. It's like in a record system. It's like, okay, let's see if this person's doing well. So I help a lot of people. So especially for people who have custom necklaces for me, my angels will never be invasive. And you guys know that. That's the thing. You guys get your privacy. So they'll be like, okay, there's a very particular person who's messing with this person. And they won't say, it's like, if, for example, it's a close family member, it's someone who you're dating, because they want to keep it private. So the person will be like, oh, he knows, but he doesn't know exactly who it is. Yeah, because angels are about your privacy. They respect your privacy. Spirits, they don't care. Like, oh, for example, Daniela's man is seeing men and whatever, and then and just start talking and make drama, when the thing is, he might have been, for example, talking to someone, but the spirit doesn't know everything because it doesn't have the right recording, versus the angel's like, okay, he made some male friends, and then whatever, versus, oh, she's for example, a monitoring spirit will see, oh, Daniela she went out into town and she got hit on, and she took a few men's numbers. And then, so that's what the monitor spirit sees, or that's what the spirit sees. And then what the angel will see is, okay, a bunch of men hit on her. She didn't want to be bothered. She accepted their numbers because they wouldn't say no. So that's the thing, and that these recordings can get messed with or tampered with, but when they're through angels of God, which angels are most likely not going to show you, most of you, until you get your gifts like flat out open to the point where you're actually helping people. So they might show you in a dream or a vision, but they'll show you on God's terms. So you'll have to ask God directly. You can't be like, angel. And most of the time, this is a huge thing too. Your angel might just not know because God didn't give them the recording, because he'd know you ask your angel. So in essence, ask God. God's number one. He's the one who's in charge. And for example, the Akashic Records, some people are like, oh, I can tap into the Akashic Records. Now if God says no, you're going to pass God? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you? Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Is being, oh, I can go up there and God again. No, you can't. No, you can't. Try. It's like, my angels are like, calm down. But that's the thing. And then God will let you think you collected some kind of information. You didn't. You just went to the Akashic bin, which I'll talk about the Akashic bin in the future. There's a whole record of the Akashic records that's in a trash can. It's just the information's so useless, but it's interesting. And most monitor demons will actually get information from the bin, and it's like a trash can with a lock on it that can be broken or picked. And then people think they're going into the Akashic records. It's the Akashic bin. It's like the trash can of the library. And it's useless information. I just shut my phone down. I told you guys. I was adjusting my ring. I have fun making my videos. I'm gonna try a new style in my ring to show the people. But back to my and that's my angels are laughing too, which doesn't help the video. So they'll probably, and that's the thing. Something small can be recorded, so I'll be just chilling later, and my angels will literally play a record of me laughing in my car, just like and they'll just make fun of me like they'll just play a recording of how loud I was laughing earlier. So that's the thing. That's why I'm trying to calm myself down, is because I'll play it later. I'll be like chilling at my desk, blessing someone's necklace, and I'll hear like and like just my own recording. I'm like, what are you doing? So everything we do is recorded, so nothing is a secret. So there are people who are very slick or think they're slick, and they'll just be like, well, I can say this and get away with this. No, everything's recorded. For example, when you get your clairaudience open to a very specific level, any form of gossip ever it'll be played to you in your ear. So anytime, okay, I don't mean to freak people out, but anytime someone mentions, fine, I'll just say for most people, anytime someone mentions my name, I'll hear their voice say whatever comes after. If it's Stoneman or Keith or anything that has to do with me, I'll literally hear it, and then I'll hear whatever. For example, it's like a phone. It's like literally dial and then pick up. So that's okay. My angel's getting advice. Basically, certain gemstones, if you want that gift open, we'll do that for you. It's the blue crystals. I'll talk about that in a different video. So when people go to gossip and you have clear audience open, the spirit realm is like a giant microphone. It's literally, if anything can hear you, if you pray to God and it goes directly to God, everything can hear you pray. Everything can always hear you. It's like you're talking to a loud microphone or a stereophone. I'm saying that right. So anytime you speak out loud, or even your thoughts too, your thoughts are like whispers. So that's why thoughts not so much. So if you thought about doing something bad, or if you thought about saying something bad and you didn't say it, it doesn't really count like that, but it still counts in a very small portion. So if you thought bad thoughts, it's not a deed. So when you think bad thoughts and then you act on the thoughts, it's completely different. So don't freak out. Who should be freaking out? People who are doing bad. Who doesn't have anything to worry about? People of God. And that's the thing. And the biggest thing is, because I asked my angels, I'm like, am I teaching people too much in this video? Is this video too much information? They're like, no, this is going to make people more demure and mindful of what they say and do. Because everything can be tracked. And even because for example, I'll go down the line. So if I'm behind or not caught up, and I'll be like, okay, let's just see. And I'll just scroll through the records, and I'll just be like, okay. And then if a person has been bad, I'll see it. And I'll hear it. I'll smell it, taste it, etc. So, for example, if that person was doing something really bad, like, I can't even say the word. When people put things in their body to get false elevated, I can't even say it. I'm not going to say those words on here because I know my monetization rules. I'll be able to taste the whatever they're doing. So if that person is, oh, there we go, I can emote it. So that person's like or that, I'll have a taste in my mouth and I'll be like, okay. But certain crystals open that gift. So that's why I tell you, the crystals open a lot of gifts. So the more spiritual you get, the more you're able to connect with the physical world, and the more that you know what's going on. Now, if God doesn't want me having that information, then I won't have it. If he wants me having that information, I will. Same thing with you guys. So you can't just be an evil person, like, okay, I can just listen to it. No, your gifts are probably really shut if you're an evil person, And you should work on yourself if you're an evil person, which evil people don't watch my videos. They're like, he's not correct. It's like, no, but you can do this. You can just curse anyone who you want, and you can just do bad because God put us here to do it. And their life isn't working out, but they think they know everything. Like, people who do really bad stuff and have really bad patterns, nothing will work out, but they know stuff. So I teach based off of my patterns of, I see tremendous success in the people I help, and I see tremendous success in what I'm doing. And all I do is replicate the success. I don't make new wheels. I just use the existing one. So when I know how to elevate someone, basically, and you guys are getting elevation because now you know, that's why you get tests. So when you do something good, you get a reward afterwards because that was recorded. And finally, since this is the end of the video, at the very end of your life, the thing is, you can deny doing something, but if you actually did it and you did it, when you get to the end, for example, for people who have done this to someone, thou shalt not kill, and you did it, and you said you didn't do it, and you get to the end of when you get to the end of your life, the Lord will play it back for you so you can see it like a movie. And he'll sit down right next to you and he'll play it. You actually walk through it as well. That's why it's called a past life replay. It's because you go through the motions. So every deed you've done, you're going to be judged on. Judgment belongs to God. That's why people can't judge other people. It's because you haven't seen their recordings. You haven't seen their whole life. So like, oh, this person, you're like, oh, God must not like them because they use crystals. And for example, and you know, people who say that they didn't read the Bible, that's why people are like, oh, that person's burning incense, they're demonic. It's like, you haven't seen how many people they have helped. And meanwhile, you look at that person's recording, that person has gone through so much trauma. So that's basically, I'm going to keep this video short because this video can get long. Now, if you like the ability to tap into, and that's what I don't read people, I just see the whole situation like, okay, solution. Not 3-hour reading, you're like, like, no. Problem, solution, everything else is just talk. So, for example, if you have all these people doing black magic on you and you get a custom necklace from me, it's like, okay, you don't need to know. I mean, sometimes I will tell you, like, okay, it's your neighbor. It's like they're sitting on the floor with their legs open with the candle between their legs and they fall asleep and they have nightmares at night because the entities don't leave their house. Like, that's just, but I won't always say that. If the person doesn't need to know, if my angels say they need to know versus, okay, this is going to make the person paranoid, versus it just, whatever my angels tell me I should or have to do in making someone's custom necklace, I will tell that person. So, get a custom necklace from FloridaSnowman.com. There's an official portal on the website for a custom necklace. You guys have to check it out because it's actually incredible. It's otherworldly. You get to see all the people who have put reviews for the custom necklace. Holy moly, that comes with a lifetime of spiritual mentoring. You have to check that out on the website. Look what I did with the website. Now, the custom necklace will open your gifts and you'll start seeing records. That's why it's called recording records. The Akashic records. Everything's already been done. Everything's already been recorded. So I don't talk about Akashic records because God doesn't just hand that over to people, but the Akashic bin for people who, I'll talk about the Akashic bin in the future as well. I can't put all these different topics in one video. Get a custom necklace from FloridaSnowman.com. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!